So today what we'll do is we're going to start by creating a column example. Okay, so remember you're doing your class list example. Now for us, I'm going to make a grid that's going to look something like this. So in Excel, I would probably have, say, a table. Let's make it 3. Let's insert a table, and we're going to make it 3 columns by 2 rows. Now, I'm going to have a team, a score against, a score for section. Now, I'm going to make the team be left aligned, but I'm going to make the score against section be right aligned. So in Word, you would do something like this, set up the right align and do this. Now, in Java, for left align, I'm going to assume that this is going to be 10 spaces. This one will be 5 spaces. And the last bit here is going to be 7 spaces. Now, we're going to make it left aligned. So we're going to make it left aligned, which means in Java we have to use the minus sign for our command. And I'll show you what that command is for this one. Don't have to say, just go nothing. And finally, nothing else. Now in Java, we're going to use the following: system.out.format. So formatting is what we're doing, and what we have to do is we have to create an input string and then each input. Let's call it input 1, input 2, and input 3. So this is not exactly how you would write it, but I'm kind of explaining how it works right now. So when we do our output, so remember how the team section here was supposed to be 10, right? Well, here's what we're going to do. In order to do it, we have to use the following commands. So for each one of these commands, so the left one, in our input string, we actually have to do the following. We have to go %. This tells us this is a column, and then we go minus 10s. The computer understands that this is the actual spacing for our command. Now, for the score against, we do the same thing again, except instead of 10% 10s, we're going to use %-10s. This time we just go %5s. So now our words are going to be right aligned this way, right? And so for the last one, if you think about it, final answer should be %7s. Now, this is how it actually how it runs in Java. Ready? Here we go. System.out.format bracket. Now we put in quotations where we want our string. Okay? In this case, our string is going to be, ready? The following: %-10s. We leave a space. We start up our negative column, our next column. %5s for our next column, 5 spaces, but right aligned. And then the final one is going to be are you ready for it? 7s for right aligned for the last column here, right? Now, in order to make this thing work perfectly, we have to say at the very end of our string, create a carriage return. So that's what the \n was that we talked about earlier in the notes. So the \n basically forces the new line for our string. Now, it's not quite done yet. Now, if you look at it, all we did was set up the input string, right? So the input string was set up, and I'm just going to make that red. Make this one red too. So this part here is how I want my information to be formatted to the output window, the console window, right? So now what I want to do is I want to go and do the inputs. Now the inputs I'm going to leave as black here. Okay, so the inputs are for, well, when we do this, we got to look at this thing here. You got to make sure that the string that you have that goes into here is less than or equal to the 10 spaces that I've allotted for my first column. So now I'm going to put in quotations team. And because team is only 4 characters, it definitely works within our column, right? Now, if I do this again for the second one, the score against, notice I said it was 5. Oh man, score against. So if I type in score against, the score against is only 5 letters, right? Because it's 5 letters, the text that shows up would not work nicely. It wouldn't format properly. The program would try to format it as best it can, but it would be bigger than that. So if I sit here and I look at this score against thing, right? Let's count how many letters I have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So the score against is actually 13. So I can go back here. This is my first column. This is my second column. My second column has to have 13 spaces minimum in order to just hold the title. And then every other word or words underneath there using the same format will have the same number of spaces. Now let's go and look at score 4. Score 4 has, so the last one for score 4, all we do is this, in quotation, score 4. Now, by doing that, oh my goodness, hold up, score 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, there's 9 spaces, so it can't be 7 spaces, it's gotta be 9 spaces, right? So in this case, I'm just making sure that each one of these has to have the exact number of spaces we need for our title, and by doing so, all of the subsequent rows will have the appropriate spacing for their columns, and everything will be good, hunky-dory. So now if you want to run this, all we do is we create a column example. Alright, so let me show you how we do that. I'm going to delete this thing and then we'll build another one real quick. So let's say I want to go and create a new program. So you go new class, right? And we're going to call this column example. And make sure you check off the stuff that says public static void main. So that main thing is where we actually write our code. In this case, our Java program is called column example. When we run it on the computer, it's looking for this section of code, the main method. Everything that we do goes inside the main method. So if I paste that in here, right, first thing, the quotations need to be set up properly. So let's go and copy that down properly. Alright, I'm just going to go and fix this. The quotations inside a text document is slightly different than what you would see inside a Java IDE. So just make sure that you go and fix that. Alright, and then we get rid of the extra. Alright, so system.out.format. There it is, right here. Alright, so you know that if you're in Java, when you run it and you see this color scheme here, where it's blue, white, lighter blue, and then this thing, this green color, that green color signifies the format command, or any command that runs. So if you did system.out.println, you would have that. So now, when we run this, just run your code, and here's your console, right? So you've got team, left aligned, score against, and score for. Now that we have that, let's go back and add the second line to our example. So inside here, once I got my columns ready, all I have to do is change the text that I want in here. In this case, for the team, I'm going to put BCSS, our school. And then our score against, I'm going to put the number 10. Let's say it's basketball, so 45 to, well, 51. So notice all I did was take the text that we had for our columns, but notice I just copied it and pasted it down. Remember that you have to have that /n at the end of your output, or else the output won't work properly. So just make sure it's there. So if you now take a look, there's our information, and if we wanted to add more and more teams, we could. So now I'm just going to do that right here. So now I just go, let's go DVCSS. Let's go 15 to 91, 93, 94. There you go. If we run this again, and there's our console. There's our information, all formatted nicely. Now, if I wanted another column, how would I do that? What I'm going to do is create another column at the end, and then add another input to the end of this. All right, that's it. Good luck, guys. Have a good day.